Welcome back to another episode of Where Hornets Walk. Hope you are well. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the appointment of Ed still being quite underwhelming. We're going to check in with our team this week and see if they still hold that view. Thank you for coming back to us. 20 more minutes of Watford chat. And of course, this week we are reviewing the win over Derby. Were Derby that bad? Or were Watford that good? A question to put to our panel. Plus, how impressive is our latest City recruit? Stephen Mfuni. We're going to get the panel's view on all that as well. Who else impressed over that win? Plus, we've got some big games coming up, and are the playoffs genuinely, seriously back on in contention for Watford? Don't get us too excited, but I certainly think so. Plus, also coming up this week, we're talking who would we like coming up from League One, who makes a great away day, the panel's view on that, and we're up to Q in our A to Z of Watford. Plus, are we falling out of love with football? All that to come in an action-packed 18 minutes or so. Let's kick off with Rio. How are you, fella? Were
Yeah,
Derby
good.
bad or were Watford good? Let's start there.
I think you have to say, based on Derby having the second best away form in the league and winning the last, I think, three on the road, they beat Bristol City away 5-0, who we got Friday. I think you have to say we were good, unlike under previous managers where, it's been individual brilliance which has won us games. I thought we were a proper collective, starting from the back. Derby barely had any chances. We had that Sava, I can't even pronounce his name. My dad calls him got the shits today. Him and a banquet, they're a good. That's a new pairing, and they were great. And then you got Mfuni, who he plays like he's got 20 more years experience, and Mendy, who didn't get a sniff under heavy. He outshone Loser. So yeah, I think we were great. And also you had Dumbia and Kieran scoring goals. Who we've been complaining about our strikers recently. So very happy for them. It was a very well-rounded performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke, who stood out for you? We'll come on to Stephen in a minute.
Yeah, it's going to be Stephen, but Mendy as well was really good. I mean, to be fair, the last sort of few games I've seen him, I've not been his biggest fan. The only reason I'm saying that is because I think he's been playing to actually Loser's disadvantage, where we haven't been able to give Loser that sort of free roam to sit and sort of to spray the ball around like we know very well. But I think it helps us more defensively. The amount of times he was just winning the ball in these little pockets was amazing. It's something that we have been definitely missing from that defensive point of view. And I think it will start to get there as to where Loser will fit in to be as good as he was when he was sitting back.
Yeah, absolutely. All right then, Aaron, let's talk about the main man that's causing a bit of a ripple. Of course, Watford fans, Michael says he was exceptional and he looks set for a great career. Defensively strong, alert, good on the ball, fast, good vision, positionally intelligent, and a good distribution. I don't think there's anything missing there as well. Was he actually all that good?
He's been superb in all three appearances he's made. I think we did speak on the podcast when Alleyne was recalled about how, since he had come into the side, that's when we had that good run, and that was no, coincidence. And replacing him was going to be a massive part of whether this season actually comes of anything or not. And it looks like, City might have taken Alleyne back, but, they've been kind in the sense that they've given us the next thing, which is Stephen Mfuni. And I think some are even saying that potentially he eclipses Max Alleyne in what he's shown us so far. And I think I'd agree in this first three performances. You've got a player who, like Alleyne is really calm in possession, especially for someone with, again, no senior football experience, has great distribution, knows, when to play the long pass and when not to. And even when he does make a mistake, he just immediately mops it up. It's like you feel so comfortable when you've got that kind of player in your back line. That's the kind of, traits you expect from someone who's, played for God knows how many years, is like 28, 29 in their prime, let alone from a kid that turned 18 last week. So, yeah, I think I couldn't sing his praises more. And, like every other Watford fan, singing his praises, and he absolutely deserves it. Long may he kick on, because, he's not going to be playing the Championship next season if he
And
carries
I,
on like this.
and I also think Mifuni compared to Elaine, when Elaine was put at left back out of position, he looked about out of his depth, whereas Mifuni, he was honestly unbelievable. He's keeping Bowler out of the team. I think with Mifuni, you could even put him maybe in defensive midfield and he'd do a job, a bit like Ampadu. He started off as a centre back and then went into CDM, didn't he?
Okay. Let's take some more tweets then, shall we? Atlas Rock says it could have been 3 or 4, Rio. We look solid throughout and reduced the negative Derby to 2 longish range efforts, 1 miles high and the other wide. Good performance. I thought the referee was a joke, but at least he got the crowd up. The atmosphere, and we haven't heard this for a while, the atmosphere was spot on. Wow. It's been about 3 years since we said that. Was it?
You're asking the one person who wasn't at the game. No, according to my dad and the others who went, yeah, they were singing Ed Still's Yellow Army like the majority of the game. And you saw us on the channel a couple of weeks ago when you were like, "How long do we give him? Are we getting behind him?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I have the energy to." Us fans, we really brought to him, and I think that's considering his like openness in the media. He was talking today about how Bar and Mama, he doesn't want to take risk on them, unlike Vata under Javi, and he knows that his CV Ed still that it isn't great. He's got like 3 wins in his last 33, and he's got some connections to Mogi Bayat. But yeah, those interviews he did with some of the podcasts at the training ground and just talking to the media, he's a great character. It's good to have a manager we can connect with and who speaks English, and he also speaks French as well. And we've got 10 French players, unlike Pesolano, who could only speak Spanish, and we didn't even get press conferences from him.
Yeah, just on that. Thank you very much, OJTV2. Mfuni is the oldest 17-year-old I've seen on a football field. Yeah, brilliant. I was going to ask you about how impressed you've been from a media point of view. You listen now to two post-match interviews, plus his interviews he's done with the club officially. How impressed have you been with him, with what he's had to say so far?
Really good. He's been really clear and concise. He's sort of not been one of those managers where he's sort of not putting all his eggs in one basket. He's been very sort of realistic with what the plan is. And there was something he said about how he dropped Semedo, and that it's not like Semedo's done for. It's within his plan that there's going to be some games that we're going to play 2 up front. He said so. 2 of the 3 options that he will be using. But just on the back of what we was just saying about the atmosphere as well. He did something really different, which I noticed, which managers don't tend to do. Every sub that we made that second half, he would clap towards the Watford fans, and I think Watford fans could see that, and then they would clap the players off. It was something that was really good. I noticed, which is different. I don't know if I'm very being really niche, but I always notice really small things with managers, and I really like that. And also the fact that I sit the top row of the rookery, so I'm quite a way away from the pitch. I could hear him whistling because it's that loud. So I'm already really behind him. I really like him, and yeah, to the point, the original question on how concise he's been in the media, it's been really really good. And I'm so pleased to have him so far. So looking good.
Okay. Let's talk Kiran Guard, shall we, Aaron, for a second, if that's all right. Kieran says, Kiran Guard gets decent service and plays well. What a surprise. Some fans need to give him a break and get off his back. Yeah, I mean, you've never all been particularly on his back, but where are we as a fan base with him, do you think, Aaron? And do we need to give him a little bit more slack?
Yeah, and I think it's one of those is that we know we've got 3 really young centre forwards in our team that all have sort of different qualities, and it's not like we've got another window. We can't go and pluck another striker out tomorrow. So they're young players that are going to take time, whether they're at Watford for the next season or way beyond that. You just got to get behind them because they are the options we are left with. Whether you think we should have had another striker in or not, we need to get behind these guys we've got. And he has, I would say, since Ed Still's come in, shown a little bit more than he was previously. He gets the ball to his feet a lot more, which is nice. I mean, like under Javi, we were launching these long balls up or aerially. And although he is a big guy, he wasn't really winning anything in the air. Whereas actually, if we're a big guy, he's got decent feet. So getting it into his feet more and allowing him to hold it with his body and then play it off is being more fruitful. And yeah, it's nice to see him get another goal and boost that confidence in him.
Apparently, he's got 8 goals this season, and all of them are first-time finishes. So maybe it's not him being bad; it's he's not getting the service.
Yeah, absolutely. OJ's been back on. Yeah, so great to have a proper English-speaking manager. A whole bunch of coaches speaking English now. Yeah. Which is just on this English idea. Did anyone see the tweet from the Derby County fan this week?
Yeah, Aaron
It's
sent it to the
horrendous.
group chat.
Yeah. What did you? I mean, for those who haven't seen it, he's suggesting that how do you connect or how do you relate to a team, which is essentially all foreign names and all foreign players. I mean, it's quite disgusting, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's so strange. I mean, I'd like to hope I speak for at least a large amount of the fan base when I say it doesn't matter. Like, if you put on that Watford shirt, you're representing Watford, so they're gonna relate to you and they're gonna be behind you. Yes, you might be annoyed at you sometimes when you go in and get them beat, not putting the effort in. We're gonna be annoyed at you, but we're never gonna not relate to the football club, because as long as you're wearing that yellow top, we're going to be cheering for you. I was absolutely baffled when I saw that. The idea that we had to have more English players starting, just so that we could feel like we could support them. I mean, he ignored the fact that Ngakia and Mfuni were English players themselves anyway, saying that we had no British starters when we did. And then, we had 5 on the bench that were British. So even his point he tried to make was wrong. But yeah, absolutely baffling. It doesn't matter. We could field a whole squad of players that aren't from this country or the surrounding countries. As long as they are pulling for the Watford shirt, I will always be there to support them and feel connected to them.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have pointed out how foolish he's made himself look. On social media. Sometimes it's good to put the wine down, isn't it, before you type. Right, Luke, one for you here, please. See if you agree with this one. Atlas Rock says, more of the same, please, against Ipswich. Our backline and defensive cover from midfield suddenly looks solid. However, Selvik still looks suspect, though.
I thought he was good.
Yeah, I thought he was good.
Yeah,
I thought he was good. I mean, didn't really have to have much to do because our defence was so strong. But I'm feeling quite, I wouldn't say confident, but I do fancy ourselves tomorrow to get something. I think Ipswich are on a bit of a downslope at the moment. They get a bit nervy. I know a couple of Ipswich fans who think they might even fall out of top 6 there. I think they're really sort of against them going anywhere this season. And I think on the back of that performance, I don't see there's no reason why we can really press on and get a win. There's no thing within how he played the other day that I was a bit like, oh, I don't know about us playing Ipswich. It was one of the best we've played at home all season. So I don't see why we can't fancy ourselves tomorrow at all, regardless of the league table. And it'll be massive for us if we get a win because we again once really in the mix again.
Yeah. How far off do you think we are from tomorrow night's game being the playoff final, Rio?
As I said, if we had lost to Preston, Still's worse than whatever. But now we've beaten Derby, Still's the Messiah. So I want to stay grounded. I think this week is honestly pivotal in the playoffs because say we won no games, we could have been 10 points off playoffs. If we win all our games, we could be in the playoffs, or we could just be 5-6 points off. Which the ground still. We could still cover that ground, but yeah, I think it's a massive week. I personally would take 3 points from the rest of the week. 4 would be brilliant, but 6 points from 9 in some of the toughest fixtures you'll get this season, and yet still hasn't had an easy start. And we've got some winnable fixtures afterwards. You've got Leicester, who are obviously had a points deduction, bottom 3. Sheffield Wednesday away, already relegated. And then in April, we've got West Brom, Oxford, Charlton, who are all in the relegation scrap. So yeah, we can see it's not all about performances because we need results now. But yeah, tomorrow I am confident, but we could go. We're not good midweeks, as Lucas said. The stadium's half empty and everything, so we could easily lose 4-0 like we did to Leeds last season. But hoping a good performance and result, I'd take a draw.
Yeah. OJ says this Ipswich match is a big test for Ed still. Yeah, if we win, it will mean tons for the players and our confidence. Yeah, absolutely. Is it safe to bet on Watford again? I mean, I haven't done since that Sheffield Wednesday game screwed me out of hundreds and hundreds of pounds. But maybe on Friday night I might have a little away flutter at Ashton Gate. Who knows?
I think we're good. I think we're decent value tomorrow. I think we're over evens. I think we're 13-10 when I looked briefly earlier, which I don't think is too bad.
I think we've only lost 1 in 10 away games or something, or 2 in 10. So, yeah.
Okay. Right then. Now, if Watford do stay in the division, of course, it's we're going to have 3 teams coming up from League One. So, just as a little bit of fun, we're asking this week which away day would you like to see back up? We know who you wouldn't like to see back up, but they're having a bit of a stinker at the moment. Manager falling out with fans. And if you saw that at the weekend as well, don't laugh. Come on, it's not nice to laugh at the unfortunate. Who would you like to see coming up from League One, Aaron?
I mean, Lincoln are flying, so I think they will, and that's going to be a really cool one. I'm all right. I don't keep into it. I only like to see it, look when Luton are losing. So Bradford, I think would be a really cool one. Are they League One?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a wicked one to go to. And then for a third, we've been in division with them before, but I never got to go. At Bolton.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Any others from any of you?
Yeah, I think. Go on, Luke.
Oh yeah. I'll go. Joe, I've never actually done it before. Cardiff. It's because every time we've played them, it's been on a midweek, or the one time I did go up, it was called up. No, I got stuck in traffic and had to turn back round. So I feel like there's something telling me that I can never go to Cardiff. So I'm hoping they can find, and it's a great night out if it's a Saturday game.
Yeah. I want Cardiff. Cardiff and Lincoln are almost set. So it'd be nice if Plymouth went up because Cleverley's flying with them. But also, I wouldn't mind Stockport going up because my uncle lives literally a 10-minute drive away. So happy days there.
Absolutely, yeah. Although Edgeley Park is about 1.5 miles from where I'm sat right here, so yeah, come up.
Really?
I'll shout you a Weatherspoons pie and pints, and you can stick me in the Watford end. I'll fill for those empty seats. Right. Also, this week we're briefly talking about football in general. How are we falling out of love with it? There's been under great articles this week about generally how we feel about football in general. I mean, Aaron, I'll come to you on this one. Do you think there's a growing disconnect between the modern day game and fans? And if so, why?
I think in certain parts of the sort of the match day going experience, there is becoming that, that difficulty with all sorts. I think one of the obviously massive ones that will always be an issue, I think, is pricing. And it only is ever going to go up until someone, much higher than any football regulator really does anything about it. Some of the away prices charged in the Championship this season, like Rio mentioned on previous podcasts, like Coventry charging £45. I mean, it's just a bit of a joke, isn't it? And you see other countries where football is a mainstay, like Germany, where they put on the cap of €20, I think it is. I just don't see why, for a nation that is so proud of their football, that's never filtered down to us. So I think that's a big thing of it. And then obviously there is the talking point of VAR. And I've actually always been someone that is leaned slightly towards, yes, we should have VAR. The problem is that whatever way they go about implementing it here in this country, they can't seem to just do it simply. I think VAR for offsides is perfect. I think offside is a decision that can only be offside or onside. Whether it's as close as you like, that's just the rule of the game. So I have no qualms with that. I think the VAR and the way I guess maybe the officials are trained has just made it so much worse, and like how convoluted the system is. The fact that they have to wait in silence for 5 minutes while the ref sits there like this. The fans have no idea what's going on.
I can't believe that McAllister goal got disallowed yesterday.
And then some of the decisions you see, all of this, is it clear and obvious? Absolute joke. At one point, this was so clear and obvious, we have to intervene. And on another day, it's, actually, no, this wasn't clear and obvious enough. None of these things are defined well enough for VAR to work. And I think that's obviously got a lot of people's backs up. I don't know if we'll ever come to a nice midpoint with that. If it was my decision, I'd be like, only use it for offside until we can actually get it to work.
Okay. Yellow card for you, Rio, there for Liverpool sticking up as well. All right. Let us know if you've got anything to add to that in the debate, of course, as well. Cheers, Owen. Right, finally this week then, the letter Q. This is the most difficult one of all. So, have you done your homework? What have we got? Luke, anything?
We discussed this before we went on the pod. There's only one I think that we can really think of. Unless someone's got another rogue one, but it's the Domingos Quina. I know Aaron's got the shirt being repped behind him today.
There we are.
But yeah, I feel like it's not. Does anyone know any others?
I've got one, and it's not a player. It's a game, and it's actually like a recent-ish one too. And I've got the shirt over in my wardrobe. I could go and dig it out, but QPR away 2 seasons ago for Jake Livermore.
Yeah.
Just because it's one of the best away ends I can remember being in, definitely in recent years anyway. Because no one could have seen it. Jake Livermore just pulling up 2 pile drivers. to win a football match. When I think he scored 4 goals before that.
Yeah.
It was just crazy.
And
Yeah, we like playing QPR, so.
And about Domingos Quina, I remember that Thunderbolt he scored at Reading away in the cup. But also, he plays now in the Champions League with Aaron's best mate, Ken Sema. And our former sporting director, I think it was, who called Mr. Butterfly Man, he's the sporting director there. And I think David Luiz plays for them as well. Yeah, interesting.
Okay. The good news is that next week we get back to some normality on the letters. We've got R and S and T coming up in recent weeks. So Dream Street for them next week. Okay. Right. Good looking at Ipswich then. Please make sure Friday night's game is a decent one for us neutrals watching.
No.
We don't want to watch Wolves versus Villa on the other side. Make it a thriller, please, against Bristol City. And we're back here next Monday to review all of that. I've got a funny feeling we need to go and look at some Wembley hotels. We'll see you next week.